There's the truth and then there's facts, and they're not the same. Storytelling can be tough, especially when you're trying to do nonfiction and you're doing nonfiction art. It can be real tough because it can look like all you're doing is delivering facts. Actually, facts are pretty boring. I think that's why a lot of people think you should just make a documentary. That's why they want to see documentaries. They want to know the facts, but the facts are boring, and they're very boring. But truth is kind of exciting. Truth has something to it. Truth has teeth, but they're different. I know they seem the same, but the truth is experience. The truth has weight. The truth has stakes. See, when I'm like chasing a story, especially for a documentary, and I ask her questions, we'll use a police officer, for example. They rifle off facts. And eventually I have to ask the questions. Well, here's a question I have asked as a father who have 2 daughters. What do you feel about what happened in this verdict that let this man go home? That opens up a different type of answer. He's going to tell you his truth. His truth comes from his heart. His truth comes from emotions and feelings. And that's really what I'm chasing when we're creating a story. Not facts. Not facts. Because facts are stale. Facts you can Google. And I live by this idea, this notion that if I can Google it, this probably wasn't a good story. Because facts don't make story, truth does. And I'm looking for truth. In every subject matter that I deal with, what's the truth? I can't Google that. I can't research the truth. I can research a bunch of facts, but the truth comes from the person, comes from the heart. And that's what we're looking for. That's what I'm looking for. That's how I create. My documentaries, my projects are just a collection of true moments that people experience. And it's not always easy to do, because if someone was assaulted, that truth bleeds a little differently. It changes the mood. It slows things down. It makes it intimate. It makes it passionate. It makes it hard to deal with, painful to deal with. But I'll be lying if I told you, as a filmmaker sitting on the other side of an interview, watching the truth come out, watching people struggle with the truth, it's also exhilarating. It lets me know we're firing on the gears, the motor is moving, the car, or whatever the language is that show you excitement, lets me know we're getting somewhere. We finally broke through. We finally got past the facts. We're now into this uncharted territory of emotions, feelings. So often when I kind of put something out about, like, hey, I'm working on a project, I'm looking for this person and that person, or I'm looking for these type of roles, these characters, I get a lot of feedback of people who want to either tell their story or know someone who could tell a story, but then when I ask them questions, they only tell me facts. And then when I try to cut through the facts to get to the truth, that's when fear sets in. Oh, I wasn't prepared to talk about that. And that's what we make. That's what we create. That's how we find the moment. That is a moment. That is exactly what I talk about. That's where the moment comes from, is the truth. I mean, one of the notions that I have when I'm talking to others and mentoring about like my style and how do I get information, because often people ask me, how did you get that out of them? They don't, I've never heard them talk about that, or whatever the case may be. And I say every time, because I'm looking for the truth. I want the truth, not facts. And that's what the moment is about. It's the moment that facts become the truth and the truth becomes a story. And that's what I'm making. That's what we're creating. And that's why I look at facts and truth as 2 different things. The fact is I'm doing a vlog right now. But the truth is, I don't know what I'm doing.